What's going on, everybody? It's Childish back at it again, coming at you with another Summoners War video. And in today's video, we're going to be giving you guys our predictions for the America's Cup that's going to be going down this weekend here in Vegas. I wanted to reach out to you so we can do this little kind of prediction thing. Of course, I can set it up and try to follow the kind of path that Comptos has laid out. But as you saw personally at the Europe Cup, all the predictions were pretty much kind of messed up here. Everything kind of fell through. So what's your take on that, and just how everything went in Europe Cup?
Europe Cup, honestly, Europe Cup basically went as expected. I know that there were like a lot of upsets, but I mean, they were still close matches.
Yeah.
Like Summoners War by nature, obviously, is a game often won by 22% and 12%.
Yeah.
So especially at that level, I guess one of the best. This is going to be like a weird analogy, not that weird, but kind of a weird analogy. But it's Summoners War is a little bit like baseball in that the difference between two teams in baseball and actually in Summoners War as well at that level is really only a few percentages of like win rate. Like someone who's extremely good in that game or a team that's extremely good is like winning like 54% of the time or something. And Summoners War is kind of like that too. Like there's obviously a lot that comes down to it, but by nature, there's a bunch of RNG that like essentially can go either way. So the fact that there were upsets like is not surprising, you know?
Right. We'll put a little shameless plug here from Comptos. We'll put it up on the screen when I get it going here, doing my edits on YouTube. But yeah, guys, if you guys are looking to check it out and you want to join Apps and myself alongside in the arena watching the event, definitely click on that QR code. We'll have a link up top over there to do that. It is limited seating, by the way, so if you want to go ahead and check it out, I think it's I don't know if I haven't checked it out. I think it's like 300 seats. I'm not sure, but I'll have to confirm.
Yeah, I've been weirdly enough. I've walked past that arena like tons and tons of times. I've never actually been in it, so this will be super interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Of course, I know our audience is good level. We just gave this like super long-winded intro. They're like, hey man, I want to see APZE'S predictions. What's going on, man? Let's get to the point. They're like, where's the time span? So, okay, here we go. So America's Cups, we got the players right here. Obviously, we know who they all are. You've had an opportunity to play against all of them here. So anybody that you were just happy to see, I guess, just kind of made it into the top 8 that you want to kind of give a quick shout out to?
I mean, obviously, like Topa, I'm glad every single time he qualifies for stuff. True Whale, obviously, great guy. Hopefully, he performs as well as he hopes to, like as usual. But Downey, a big Twitch chatter, Zazas, another Twitcher. I mean, honestly, a lot of these guys are on Twitch regularly. It's like, it seems more meaningful whenever it's people you actually talk to regularly, and so yeah, I'm actually just glad most of the people on here made it,
Yeah, definitely. And then as we get into the predictions, I mean, obviously we'll talk about who's winning what, but I would love to get your opinion on like I said, a couple of these guys, I think you played in the preliminaries here leading up to this point. Was there any one of these players that kind of surprised you when it comes to their play style, especially some of these new and up-and-comers? We got Ladrilla, we got, Mini Shinny and stuff like that. Any of those ones that surprise you?
Not honestly. This is like kind of pithy. Not really. So there's been a lot of fairly meta play. Unfortunately, the current meta. Well, I say unfortunately, the current meta is either LD abuse or typically this like pretty tight sort of meta core. Obviously, the Veligil Chandra cigar kind of thing. But yeah, we got a lot of ragdolls in the America's Cup.
A lot of ragdolls,
so we're gonna see a lot. So my expectation is it's gonna go much as the prelims did. There's gonna be a lot of meta draft into turn 2 kind of stuff, which is not really my favorite to watch, but on the other hand, it's also like really consistent. So maybe that means, the better player wins more regularly. So
I respect that. And like I said, I'm kind of the same way. Like I consider myself, like I always try to play turn 1. I mean, obviously we work together, talking about, making a comp for turn 1, but I don't have the rules to compete turn 1. So I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like a turn 2 player. So I'm down for that kind of gameplay. I like to watch it. Right. All right, so first up, we got Vinny versus Zazas. I've seen Zazas quite a bit here. I didn't get a chance to see Vinny's preliminaries in the thing. What's your take on it, and who do you got taking this first match here?
So the person I actually have marked on my prediction is APZE'S. Specifically, but I've obviously I'm biased. I'll vote for the streamer like first generally, just as a show of support. Honestly, though, I think this one's kind of going to be a bit of a coin flip. Neither of them, uh, as far as I remember, and it's been a little bit since I watched it, we're drafting like anything super crazy most of the time. If I remember right, I think Vinny kind of typically goes for a slightly faster draft. And I actually think that's not favored in the current meta. So just based on that, I think he's maybe at a slight disadvantage, but this one's pretty even, at least it seems like to me.
Okay, okay. We'll give a little Zay some love here. We'll get it over. Let's take a look here. Moving on to the next one in the quarterfinals here. If I can, I don't know if I can click this one, but you got True Well versus Stay Hive. Now I know that this is kind of silly even now, so we want to give the respect for Stay Hive for talking about. But I mean, it's True Well. You know what I'm saying? It's True Well. He's just outrageously strong. He's former Legend Tournament champion, former world finalist. I mean, you just can't deny the fact that he's just outrageously strong, and it's kind of hard not to root for him here.
Yeah, I definitely like go Truewell in this situation. One, because I mean, just he's a smart player and he's backed up by potentially some like the best runes in the best monster box. I mean, I think there's a few people with maybe a slightly better monster box, but that's definitely not for want of trying. He's the total package, and definitely is favored in this situation.
Yes.
Like that's not to say he'll win, because as I said,
Anything could happen.
like I mean, even and I'm terrible. I've taken a game off of him on ladder, but that doesn't mean I'm going to beat him in a tournament.
Right. Let's see here. Toba V. Again, we got to kind of go with your thought process here. The streamer luck, right? Got to support the streamers here.
Well, yeah, but Downey, to be fair, Downey. So I will say I am going Topa V. I think Topa's has a certain amount of like it factor. Surprisingly, like I don't know if surprising is the right word, but like it feels like he goes into it and then I don't know, like Pinky has this a bit too, actually, where it's just like somehow he pulls out wins that I would have never expected it. It's like his brain just works in a different way than how I process the game. And so from that perspective, like I think Topa is probably going to take this one, but at the same time, Downey's super strong too. And also is a regular Twitch chatter, and that means that I like him as well. It's hard to choose. I'm biased both ways.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is, I wanted to find like one of these four that I can, I want to pick like I don't want to say an upset, but I want to pick like an underdog to win. But of all the like groups that are paired up right now, there's no way I can do it to Topa V. Topa V and I have probably more history than any other content creator out there. He was part of the Epic Fail community when it got first launched. I've known him literally since he was like 14, 15, and now he's in his 20s, man. It's crazy. So got to give him some love, man. So it's been a pleasure to know him all these years. Let's see here. So, you know what? I will say that I did catch a good amount of the America's Cup, and I really like what both of these guys brought. It was enjoyable to watch here. You got one over the other, Mini Shinny versus Ladrillo?
So this one is the one where I'm going to actually go against the sort of the wisdom of the masses. I actually think Ladrillo wins here. But that's mostly because just based on like sort of the units they seem to like to use. Whenever I see a high speed player drafting against meta, I generally think meta is going to win just because of like how strong it is and like resilient. But in this case, Mini Shinny also drafts kind of fast, except that I think Ladrillo's like his most used units, as an example, if you were to look, like typically I think favors him over Mini Shinny.
Okay.
Like they both have this slightly faster draft style, and I think Ladrillo's is stronger when compared to those two. But again, like they both can review each other's games, so who knows what's going to happen on the day, right? And they both have really good LD boxes, so.
Next up, we got the semifinals. In true form, we got Topa V versus Ladrillo. Of course, I know what I would pick here, but
I mean, I picked the exact same thing you pick in this case. Like I'm like in this case, True Well takes it over APZE'S. I mean, just like because if you just ask me who wins it, I'm gonna say True Well. So True Well's by default through this prediction is going to like win every matchup. And then Topa, obviously, I'm going to side with Topa in this case.
Yeah, that's good.
And also Topa's got the ragdoll, and the ragdoll is so good in current meta. So
yeah. It's actually kind of funny. I feel like everybody and their mom has a ragdoll now, but me. I don't know what's going on, but everybody.
I do not have a ragdoll either.
Everybody's busted it out.
Come to us. Come to us. Come to us.
Yeah. So here we are at the finals once again. We love both of these players, but we got to choose one. Apps. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be Truewell. Like in this case, like again, Truewell, super smart, super good runes, super good monsters, good preparation, all that. Topa, same thing, except not nearly as many monsters and probably not nearly as good runes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the funny thing is? So we're joking about it, but truthfully, like I want to put it out there, like it's unfortunate because like both of these guys are phenomenal players, super smart, like you said, when it comes to play. But like Truewell, it's out there, right? Truewell's account, without question, is just the better account. He has the better runes. He has the more versatile comps. Like it's just hard to get around that when he has more options versus everybody else, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like runes, runes only take you so far, but whenever it's two players who are, very skilled at the game, then the runes start making up a lot of mileage. Even if it's not in terms of amplitude, like say they were the same speed, like Truewell's depth is almost assuredly, like a lot higher. So like he can build more well-runed counters. He can prepare better ahead of time. Like, you have to fight through this gauntlet to get to this match, and you may or may not be able to throw different runes on stuff for different people. So you're going to have a lot of prep. And yeah, I mean, yeah, Truewell.
All right. So we got Truewell selected over here. And then, of course, we got to decide the third place player here. I think I kind of like the fact that these are a little bit more on the even side, but I feel like if we got to go with the underdog once, we should keep it going again. We should just go Ladrilla here. What do you think?
So in this case, due to the reasoning I had earlier, which is that, so APZE'S plays a little bit more meta than Ladrilla does. Ladrilla plays fairly fast. Okay. And just based on that, because I don't have so much direct experience fighting them that like I can tell like a huge rune difference, like just based on the matchup. But I can typically tell based on how they like to play, and that APZE'S drafts a little bit more meta, which is a little bit more resilient, and I typically favor meta against high speed, and that appears to be what Ladrilla likes to draft.
We go APZE'S. All right.
We go APZE'S and streamer, so he gets the nod.
Streamer
but as I said, I keep throwing this thing out there, but it's like a lot of these matchups are going to be so close that it doesn't really matter who you choose, because you're effectively going to be flipping a coin on terms of like it's in reality, barring no knowledge of how good they are at actually prepping, if they were just to play as if it were a ladder match, then I would say it's a coin flip. And unfortunately, we're not privy to how much prep they're doing, how much research they're doing on the other people, etc. In fact, from that perspective, Ladrilla's got a much easier time because APZE'S streams, so you can at least see, he's got a lot of material out there to review to be able to actually prep. Right. But I mean, this is pretty deep in the bracket, so he, I don't know if he would have done his research this far out. Maybe just writing down their LDs or something. But
right. Yeah, so yeah, we'll go ahead and finish off the video right there, guys. Again, thanks again for checking out the video, and huge shout out to Apps for coming on board. I reached out to him literally 30 minutes ago to try to do this video for you guys, because again, we're going to be in Vegas at the time of this video dropping. So appreciate you, man. Apps, thanks again, and like I said, we're looking forward to seeing you there and watching these guys compete.
Yeah, no problem, Childish. It was really good to do this video with you.
All right. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.